So, last night, my little stint with Night Shift ended, thank goodness. And I came home and I noticed the single biggest subscriber drop in quite some time, because I dared to speak my mind and speak the truth about Review Tech USA, PewDiePie, and free speech. Well, ta-ta, jackasses. I don't want people like that around anyways. Wow. It's crazy just how hypersensitive some people can be. Oh no, somebody thinks just a tiny bit differently than I do. They actually think. Oh no, they're such horrible people. Yeah, well, I got news for all the people that jumped ship because I spoke the truth. If you can't handle the truth, then yeah, you probably should go away anyways. Matter of fact, I'd like to encourage more of this behavior. I would love to close this gap between subscribers and views that I've been getting for the past several years, as would some other people on this site. Then there's others that really don't get why this is such a problem, and they don't pay attention to it, and then, well, that's another discussion entirely. So since we've had this little subscriber event, because I actually use the gray matter in my head, unlike some people that just repeat what other people tell them without actually thinking about it, let's talk about the subscriber system, because I went to check the analytics reports, see what kind of stuff's been going on with this type of stuff lately, and what do you know, YouTube is doing some more tweaking that is affecting people's sub counts, and they got a big blog entry on their creator blog about it. Making sure your subscribers count, which is basically more evidence that YouTube is barking up the wrong tree when it comes to this whole subscriber thing. Subscriptions are one of the clearest ways you can see how you're doing on YouTube. When people subscribe to your channel, it's a signal that they like what you're doing and want to see more. We know your subscribers are hard-won, and that's why we recognize big subscriber milestones with things like access to programs of the YouTube space and our Creator Rewards program. It's extremely important to us that these numbers stay meaningful, so that you can be sure that when your sub count grows, it's because you're building a community of real fans who are going to keep watching and supporting you. So basically, what's going on is YouTube is doing a little housekeeping again, and they've closed that loophole where suspended accounts continue counting towards someone's subscribers. They did it earlier with channels that close, and now they're doing it with channels that are suspended. Now, it's good that YouTube is cleaning house and making their systems a little less playable here, but that doesn't change the fact that there are some big channels on here that have gotten where they are by playing the system. Like when I read that PewDiePie article earlier and he mentioned playing F5 games to pad his views in the beginning. And this is really the issue here. And the same thing goes for some of the feedback I've gotten that, oh, well, PewDiePie is trying to clean up his act and get away from some of the inappropriate humor. Here's the thing. The end does not justify the means. PewDiePie needs to publicly apologize and recant for what he has done and acknowledge that he did the wrong thing in building up his channel. And if someone would love to post a link to that video, if it already exists, and save me having to dig through all of his bazillions of gameplay videos to find his apology, I would love to see it. Or if it doesn't exist yet, I would love to see him make it. But that's really the issue here. Even if YouTube cleans house, and even if they fix the things that people used to exploit, that still doesn't mean people haven't exploited them before and benefited from them. Same thing with thumbnails and stuff too. Thumbnail spam used to be an issue a while back, and then nowadays, I mean, Review Tech USA, how many times have I seen videos of his with thumbnails, and then it turns out it's just him talking into a microphone. So it's not like thumbnail spamming hasn't stopped either. People are just trying to see how much they can bend the rules without breaking them. And that's why, oh yeah, it's nice that YouTube's trying to clean things up, but I still think they should ditch the subscriber system. The subscriber system is YouTube kicking against the bricks versus the rest of the internet. It is a proprietary, internal, unreliable, useless system that can only artificially be used as a measure of someone's supposed YouTube success, as evidenced by the growing gap between subscribers and views. Take Review Tech USA, for example. Yeah, maybe I will lay off the guy eventually, but he's a great example of this problem in action, as are a lot of other big YouTube channels right now. So he had his 200,000 subscriber extravaganza, but if you actually look at his videos, usually they get about 30 to 50,000 views. That's a very low amount of audience engagement in terms of the subscription system and how well it's working. You know, when you first get involved with a site like this, you hear about something like the subscriber system and it makes all the sense in the world. If people like what it is that you do, they subscribe and they start watching your stuff on a regular basis. Is that the way it works? No. Matter of fact, there are issues with YouTube's own systems where you can subscribe to a channel and then suddenly stop seeing their new uploads because of the way their front page works. And of course, the terrible, terrible gray area between the front page, which some people think because of the Cosmic Panda changes back whenever that like year or two ago or something like that. When Cosmic Panda, that big failure that it was, first launched, aka the forerunner to the YouTube 1 channel format that they run nowadays, one of the big changes was the front page became about your subscriptions. And people are still going around with this idea that you can see the new stuff people upload on the front page. That is false, folks. YouTube, in half-assed responding to people's criticism of the front page, has turned it into a jack of trades type thing. You might see some channels you're subscribed to on there, but then you're going to see like suggestions and other stuff. Because the old front page used to be about finding new stuff to watch and subscribe to, and you went to something separate for your subscriptions. Nowadays, they're trying to sort of hit the happy medium between all of that, and they're just turning out that they're just half-assing everything, and it's not really being too effective on any of those fronts. Classic example, I mean, as much as I've been sounding off about issues with the Review Tech USA, his videos have disappeared from my front page. He didn't block me or anything. I'm still subscribed to the guy, and he's one of the many channels that I now circumvent YouTube's subscription system with via a drop-down menu in Google Chrome to manually go and see what they've been uploading lately, because sometimes I need to be reminded, hey, yeah, I'm actually subscribed to all these channels. Hey, I haven't watched that one in a while. Let's go see what they've been doing lately, and stuff like that. So I've actually been actively working on trying to circumvent the YouTube subscription system in order, and of course to incorporate other video sites as well. So if I liked stuff on Dailymotion, subscribe to it there, and if I really like it, put it in the list as well, and it's all in alphabetical order, just go down that way, and yeah. So the subscription system, though, it's unreliable at best, because people are thinking that the front page will have... No, it won't. You actually have to bookmark a separate page to check your subscriptions, and even then it's kind of linear. So if you're subscribed to, say, a bunch of vloggers who only post like once a week, but you're subscribed to, like, say, a news channel, like I'm subscribed to South Korea's Arirang News, which is almost like CNN in terms of how much it posts stuff. Sometimes you'll have a hard time seeing like new videos from certain YouTubers because they actually upload less. They don't spam your uploads queue with all these uploads and stuff like news stations would do. And I've already done that big cleanup to get rid of most of the news once already when I wasn't watching about 90% of it. But yeah, the subscription system is pretty much useless. I mean, people think it works one way, but the real way it works is completely different. Just like YouTube itself, you'd think that you could use YouTube to interact with others and respond to videos, make some of your own, and have, well, you know, that thing we used to call the YouTube community. But that's not what it's all about. The views are down on the site. By design, actually, YouTube actually went to try and kind of switch away from the empire built on clicks that they built themselves up on, by the way, including the ad revenue sharing for partners. And it just seems like they're kind of being a little slow on changing the business model on how partners get paid. So partners are having to play by the old rules, while YouTube is very much playing by the new rules. The old rules were all about clicks and getting people to click on stuff, subscribe to your channel, watch your videos, etc., and views. And nowadays, it's about minutes watched, which is another equally lousy metric to go by, because minutes watched is going to favor certain types of channels over others and things along those lines. We'll get into that a little later on. So, the empire built on clicks is now the empire maintained by minutes watched. And what does minutes watched have to do with your subscribers? Absolutely nothing, or very close to it. While YouTube is encouraging people to bug people to subscribe every single time and make that number artificially get way bigger than who regularly watches folks' videos, which, by the way, I don't do. I've never gone out of my way to even plug this channel at all. Everybody who's subscribed ever is basically, they subscribe because they want to. They come and go as they please. I don't go out of my way to try and plug this channel all over the place. I could, and probably get a big subscriber count if I really wanted to, but why should I end up like some of these channels that have a giant chasm between their subscribers and their views? The fact remains, yeah, you bug people. Oh, get that click, they say. Get that click. Yeah, you can bug people to get that click, but afterwards, then what? I mean, this isn't a score or anything, although there are people out there that treat it like that. There are people out there who basically view the legitimacy of YouTube channels based on the number of subscribers. Never mind the views or anything. Oh, look, that person managed to get 50,000 subscribers. He must mean something somehow, and then everybody else. And then, of course, what this does is it creates barriers to entry as well, because you get your minutes watched. Well, it's almost like that horrendous thing when people go looking for jobs, and if you're not overqualified, you're underqualified, or you get people that just got out of school, and they're basically getting dismissed left and right because they don't have any experience, and they're asking employers, well, if I don't actually get to work somewhere doing this type of job, how can I get experience with it and stuff like that? And it's a vicious cycle. The same thing goes for YouTube as well. If they're pretty much shutting down the entire YouTube community, so you can't respond to anybody unless you have minutes watched, where do you get the minutes watched from? How do you start that? And that's the fundamental flaw with YouTube, not just the subscriber system, but the site as a whole. If your channel isn't being explicitly promoted, it's being explicitly buried. There is no middle ground. If you haven't, how do you develop the minutes watched to make the algorithms and the search engines and the related videos start taking your uploads seriously? You pretty much need to build up a fan base outside of YouTube and then bring it to YouTube or something. How exactly do you do that? And this is the question YouTube needs to answer. Otherwise, what they're going to turn into is an elitist country club where if you haven't brought a bunch of fans with you, or you're not building them up in some external way, you can pretty much expect your YouTube endeavors to be a total failure. Like some of the radio stations I'm seeing that are trying to mess around with video blogging to augment their stuff on the air, but they're not really talking about their YouTube channel all that much on their actual shows. So here they are. Maybe after a while, they're like, okay, nobody's watching this stuff on YouTube. Well, that's because YouTube is pretty much going to bury you until you amass a critical mass of some sort. And this is the stupid part. It doesn't matter how good what you do is. It doesn't matter how good what you do is. It doesn't matter how well you put your points together. If you're making a statement about something, nothing in terms of your competency or talent matters. All that matters is those minutes watched. And where do you get the ball rolling on that? Same thing too. I mean, it's this whole thing where people felt the need to cheat the system and pad their views or play F5 games like PewDiePie in his early like PewDiePie admitted to. You know, all these people, they had the same question years ago. The only thing is, though, now you really can't get started anywhere because those paths to success have now been closed. So what exactly is someone supposed to do now? A brand new YouTuber who nobody knows. What are they supposed to do? How do they get started? How do they grow their channel and show other people that their channels can grow as well, which turns into a feedback loop which perpetuates YouTube's dominance in the online video world? How? And what exactly does subscribers have to do with any of it? Wow, you got people to click on a button. Whoop-de-doo. Do they come back? Now, I've seen the articles that YouTube's folks have been writing about, oh, well, subscribers represent the largest amounts of minutes watched. That's when the system is working. When it's not, they don't, because they don't see your uploads. Just like how I've recently gone through and massively expanded my list of YouTubers that I will be circumventing YouTube's subscription system for, because I want to see their uploads, and YouTube isn't delivering it to me. On the front page, basically, if the algorithms don't promote their content, I don't see their uploads. On the subscriber page, if they don't spam with lots of uploads to where I don't have to scroll all over the place past everybody else's videos to see theirs, I'm not going to see theirs easily either. Now, I need to keep a list of names. So I can be, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that site. I remember that channel. Let me go see what they've been uploading. And it's not just small, obscure YouTubers like myself who are getting shortchanged by this issue with the subscription system not working. Here's a couple of names of some channels that I've been like, oh wait, that's right, I'm subscribed to them. Let me go see what they've been up to these days. Barely Political, the folks behind The Key of Awesome, Classic Game Room. Let's see, what's some other ones on here? I'm looking at the list right now. Shows that I haven't watched. Total Biscuit. Total Biscuit isn't exactly what I'd call a small channel. And yet he's been uploading stuff and I haven't been seeing it. I have to go back and play catch up afterwards. How many other people out there are doing this right now and going through this right now, where they want to subscribe to channels on YouTube and they're genuinely interested, but the system fails and they don't see the uploads after X amount of time? I'm still trying to figure out why Review Tech USA disappeared off my front page. Why? I can't for the life of me wrap my finger around it. It's not like he's a small channel. It's not like I haven't been sounding off or even using his name as a tag in my videos lately. Why suddenly would it disappear? And he didn't do something. He didn't ban me from his channel. This is what YouTube needs to figure out. They can't keep plugging the subscriber system when it's somewhat maybe reliable on a regular basis. I mean, I have to circumvent this whole shebang in order to keep an eye on certain channels. Seriously. What greater evidence of failure can there be for this subscriber system than having to circumvent it like this in order to keep an eye on channels like Helsing 920, Classic Game Room, CGP Grey, B Bishop PCM, Boogie 2988, Ret Super A, Renetto, even Nutwi System that I talked about earlier. Not Nutwi System, however you want to say it. Kind of vanished. I had to go looking. Any new Exer game reviews lately? The Westlife! Shoot! You could say my main series was inspired by the guy. Haven't seen any of his uploads in quite some time. I've said it before. I'll say it again. And I'll say this however many times I need to. YouTube needs to ditch the subscriber system and replace it with the far more standardized, far more common across the internet, RSS. So we can use an RSS reader even if we have to get bounced over to YouTube from the links in the RSS feed to watch on YouTube Play pages. So we can have it with our podcasts. So we can actually start up like a program like Miro and go down and see the little numbers appear when new uploads are available to watch, and go through and watch what we want to watch, skip what we want to skip, and play catch up when we need to play catch up. And it's not like YouTube is totally against RSS. Their own blog, the creator blog, from where I got this subscriber article, has RSS feeds for their posts and comments. Why? Why does this proprietary nonsense need to continue existing? The answer? It doesn't. And if YouTube's concerned about needing third-party feed readers, they should just add an on-site RSS for YouTube stuff only. It would be exactly like the subscriber system. And since it's more standardized technology, heck, it could even increase things like views and minutes watched. You know, it'd be nice if, when I go to check my podcasts, I can check my YouTube subscriptions too. You see, that's the big shortcoming of this system that I have right now, where I have a drop-open menu of various YouTubers whose channels I want to keep an eye on that I'm circumventing the subscription system with. That's the ultimate problem with this, is because I can't see when they upload new stuff. Jay's 2 cents. Guy uploads something, I'm not going to see it on here. I have to manually click to see if there's anything new. It's the internet version of channel flipping. And I thought that's what YouTube was trying to get away from, with getting away from clicks and moving more towards minutes watched. Earth to YouTube. The internet has standards. Stop kicking against the bricks and use some of them. You might just benefit from it. Rather than trying to hopelessly prop up the subscriber system, which isn't working, YouTube should standardize stuff. Switch to something that the blogosphere has been using for, I believe it's decades now. Podcasting's been using it too, and a lot of people use YouTube the way they would use like podcast hosting and stuff. Look at what I'm doing right here, right now. There are standards out there. Things don't need to be this way on YouTube. Maybe one of these days, the folks in charge of YouTube will figure this out. But how long have I been saying this kind of stuff? How long has anybody been saying this kind of stuff? Years now? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Oh, and by the way, the likes and dislikes system isn't much better. So, I hope I don't lose more subscribers because I actually dared to speak my mind about this issue. But if I do, well, if people can't handle the truth, that's their problem. Let them go get their itchy ears tickled by someone who'll kiss their ass and never say anything that they don't like. Oh, wait a minute, that's never gonna happen. So I hope they enjoy being nomads, constantly drifting from I like this to I like this person, I like that person, because they can't handle a little bit of controversy. As for the rest of you, who actually didn't jump ship when I decided to bust out the candor about stuff like this, thank you for listening. This is MultimediaJay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by.